All right. Here we are. Interview Friday. Welcome, everyone. I'm feeling like very relaxed today from, I don't know what it is. I feel like it's some kind of soothing, perhaps ASMR kind of feeling that I'm getting. Maybe it's because Michael J. Gonzales is on the show today, which is just a real treat for me. And will be for you. If you don't know who he is, you're going to know today. I found him online during the pandemic, like I did this ASMR soap. ASMR soap is a godsend. I don't understand it. I don't know how it works, but for some reason, it makes me feel better. It's a channel out of, I don't know where they come from, but this person puts together various forms of soap like I've never seen before and cuts them in a way that I don't understand. I like to guess the colors. Kamala seems to like it as well. Thank you. You're welcome. There's a blue one. It's like fireworks almost. It's like soap fireworks. Who thought of this anyway? Who thought of this? So we're going to get on with the show. Today is the Interview Friday show. Today we're doing it. We're having on Michael J. Gonzales. Let's get into this thing. This is the intro to Lunch Therapy. Here it comes, coming your way. See you in the show. I'm going to get myself a modem. 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 All right. So let's see. There's some comments about ASMR soap. I think the woman is in Russia. She might be. I'm not sure. They have a long history of soap and candle making, which I did not know that. Behind me is another one of my favorite YouTube channels, of course. It's Healing Vibrations. They are here to heal all of us today because we might need it. We might need a little healing. So I'm sharing some of my favorite people that I've found on the old tube of the U, as they say, nowhere. And now's the time we're going to take some deep breaths. So Michael J. Gonzales is in the green room with Boney, my assistant. I don't know. I think they're having a cup of tea. Perhaps it is a mushroom tea. I don't know. In through the nose, out through the toes. Hold it. Jose craves that shirt. It's a good one. I don't know whether you're talking about Travis's shirt. Let it go. Oh, I held that one long. Got a lot of oxygen there. I guess it's Travis's shirt. This is Travis Schumacher. He lives in Seattle, Washington. Tube of the U. In through the nose, out through the toes. Hold it. Let it go. Both shirts. Why, thank you. Travis has the something that perhaps Joe Fury would wear. I have the velvet black shirt. I think I'm the only one sporting the velvet lately. Maybe I'm not. Maybe it's a thing. Maybe I started a trend, a new trend. I don't know. I'm a trendsetter. Most of you know that. In through the nose, out through the toes. Hold it. Let it go. Smooth, right? So these are crystal bowls, and Travis plays them sometimes for hours on end on this channel. And he and his compadre, Drew, they have been making these videos and going out and soothing people all over the nation. So I'm sending a shout out to them. Smooth operator. Let's get into this show because this is a very special one. And we're going to leave Travis behind. Thank you for setting the scene, Travis. But let's get into this interview. Okay, so Here I am traveling down the road. Michael is in the green room. I hear him now. We've got some I don't know, what is this, a stream behind me? A nice stream. So let me just tell you about Michael J. Gonzales and how I came across him. So I've been doing this show since the pandemic began. Many of you have been along for this journey, so you understand what's going on. Some of you might be here for the first time. I don't know. You can comment along if you're on YouTube or LinkedIn or wherever the heck you are. You can comment along. We can put the comments on the screen. You can ask questions of Michael. So my thing was, at the end of our show, every show, we have a dance break where we have somebody that I found covering a song. I think originally I did it because otherwise, because the music is something that we know, but also it gets us introduced to musicians that we might not have known about. So I was going around looking for this song by Harry Nilsson, and the song is "Me and My Arrow." And I just love that song. I've loved it since I was a little kid. I used to be in art school, and as a tiny child, and they would play that song while we were doing art, and it just, I don't know, I love it. I love it. So I found Michael J. Gonzales singing this song. And we're going to play that at the end for the dance break. But then I found out Michael J. Gonzales is an actor like me as well. Not only is he doing these videos, music videos, but he's also an actor. And it turns out he's a full-on musician from when he was a tiny, tiny little child. And so we're going to learn a lot from him because he is the kind of person that makes his own life, makes his own creative life, doesn't seem to be following any rules that anybody set down, because that's what happens in life, is you go along and you do your thing, and there are people that come in and go, you can't do that. You can't. What? You can't be a guy from Bakersfield who becomes a concert pianist. You can't be that. You can't start being an actor when you're 50 years old. You can't do that. What are you doing? But everybody knows that that's bullshit. Pardon my language. But let's get into the show now. Let's meet Michael J. Gonzales. It's Interview Friday, Lunch Therapy. right. So, Michael, that was so okay. So the crowd is going crazy. Welcome to lunch therapy.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
So, okay, so let me ask you this. So, I came across these videos that you were making. It seems like you made a lot of them during the pandemic. Were you what was the thought process here that all of a sudden you started going out and making videos when a lot of people were just kind of crawling up into a ball and going, "Oh no, this is the worst thing ever."
Okay, well, so there was talk about going into a lockdown,
Yeah.
and I had all these things going on and a lot of things to look forward to. And then we went into lockdown, and I'm just the kind of person that can't have, I just need to have a project. I just need to have something. So
Yeah.
I thought, well, you know what? I am going to I've always wanted to do cover songs. I had dabbled in it, but I
Uh-huh.
said, I'll just do a cover song a week and I'll just do
A
it for a year.
week.
I'll
So
do it.
that's
Yeah,
why you have so many of them. You did one every single week.
for a year.
Oh. And the production value is really good. Like, who helped you with this? How did you do this? And it's
Well,
awesome too, because it's like you're out there on the streets and nobody's there, which
nobody's there,
is
right? So,
super cool.
so like everybody else, I started. I mean, I didn't leave the house, right? Like,
Yeah.
no, so you're gonna go get groceries or something.
Yeah.
So it started like with just a camera. This is an old T3i, and I
Yeah.
just put it on a tripod and I just recorded like that. And then as we were able to start going out more, they started kind of letting us out. I realized there's like nobody on the streets. It was empty. Hollywood. I live in Hollywood. It's like you never see that. And then I
Never.
started to realize like LA is empty. Like this is crazy. So and then as I started to progress, and then I brought in a friend to shoot for me, and then we got a gimbal, and then I moved up the camera up to Sony, and started shooting 4K. I mean, it just started kind of escalating, but almost until the end, it was pretty sparse.
Yeah.
There weren't a lot of people around,
Who
so
was
it's not like it
shooting?
now.
Who was filming
Uh,
you?
Guy Gittenport,
Yeah. Is that a friend of
Guy
yours?
Gittenport, yeah, he's a
Yeah.
really close friend. So
Nice.
and so we both, it was a learning process too, and then the production started getting a little more elaborate and with the music, and but it was intense. It was an intense deadline because I had to learn the song, produce it, and perform it, and then mix it, and then do it, and then edit it, and then get it was a lot. Well, you know the
Yeah. Are you the kind of person that, uh, when life hands you lemons, you make lemonade? Are you that kind of person?
I'm a glass half full person for sure.
You have an
Yeah.
incredible story too. I want to go back because you came from Bakersfield, California,
Yes.
and at, I don't know, 8 years old or something, you saw the Beatles, and you were like, "I want to do this." Your uh, parents gave your sister a piano, and you started playing it.
Yeah.
How did this happen? Were you bullied at school? What the heck happened that you just suddenly started going, "I'm going to play the piano like no other kid"? And I live in
No,
Bakersfield and nobody's doing this. And I'm just doing this.
I wish I had that much forethought, but no, I saw the Beatles when I was like 4 or 5,
Yeah.
right? And I remember that. Like I think that's my earliest memory.
Yeah.
And I didn't know I wanted to do that, but I just remember I have two older sisters, and I just remember the hysteria in the room,
Yeah.
right, in our living room. But my mom had gotten a piano for my sister when I was really young, and then she kind of bailed on it. And I started down. I would watch her take lessons. I'd sit in the back of the room and watch, and then I would practice, and then I'd start playing it. And then I just went to my mom one day and I said, I think I want to do this forever. So can you make it happen? And it was just that because I just connected with it, and I was kind of shy
Yeah.
growing up, but I kind of realized soon that people responded to music,
Yeah.
and people responded to not just myself making music, but they respond to people making music. So I don't know. Uh, so it was a way to just kind of to meet people and to just tear down walls. And
What were your parents like? Were they musicians?
no, my dad was a mailman. My mom was a TA, teacher's assistant, and an interpreter. But they were the kind of parents that they didn't have like they were able to raise us comfortably and we got everything we needed, but they just put a bunch of stuff in front of us
Yeah.
and kind of with the idea like, okay, pick one, and
Uh-huh.
that's
That's your
that's what
thing.
that's your thing. We'll support that. They weren't the parents, but just gave us a ton of things to do, but we got our thing. And as I grew older, I wanted better piano. I mean, I wanted to go up with piano teachers that were a little more
Yeah.
expensive. And so my dad would do things like take his lunch to work, and at that time it was kind of expensive,
Hmm.
but they were always totally supportive on any like the arts, and yeah, they were very cool that way.
Did you think that you were going to do this for a living, or were you just doing it because you just loved it so much?
I just loved it, but my cousin Rick Troxel was a professional keyboard player, and he was about 5, 6 older than me,
Uh-huh.
and he was really like the man around town. Like he was just a keyboard god, and he turned me on to a lot of music and turned me on to a lot of keyboard players. But I never thought I would do that. But like when I was in high school, he couldn't do a gig, and then he would say, "Call my cousin." They go, "But your cousin is like he's 15." They go,
Yeah.
"Just trust me, call him."
Yeah.
And so then I started like booking gigs that he didn't have. But a lot of it was like in bars, and I'd have to sit outside on my breaks and do my homework
Really?
outside.
And your parents were cool with this too? Like how old were you when you started actually going out and gigging like that?
By 15, 16.
And how was that? I mean, were you allowed in bars and things like that to
Well,
play?
this was the 70s, so it wasn't. You could be there, but
Yeah.
like I said, on my breaks, I'd had to go outside.
That's why you were outside. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I was
That,
outside. So, but my parents would drop me off and pick me up.
wow.
I mean, I was making good money for high school,
Yeah.
and then I put it all in the bank, and then I did a little short stint at Berklee College of Music, but I had been saving for
Wait,
that
was where's that? Boston or something?
in Boston. Yeah,
So you went to Boston and went to Berklee College of Music for a while.
yeah, for like 3 or 4 months, not very long, but
What made you
but I got
leave? The weather?
money. I just ran out of money.
Oh,
You
because
know what I
it's
mean? So,
expensive.
I wanted to experience it for at least a little bit,
Yeah.
because I heard so much about a lot of people I respected had gone there, and I just,
Yeah, it's
you
great
I was
music school,
young, and
right?
yeah, it was really pretty amazing.
So when you came back, did you go back to Bakersfield or did you go to Los Angeles or what did you do?
I came back to Bakersfield and just started, believe it or not, at the time it had a really big music scene,
Yeah.
and I was doing all kinds of gigs. And Buck Owens and Merle Haggard are from Bakersfield,
Really?
so there's a big country and western scene there. So
Wow.
I think Buck Owens had a band, his band, the Buckaroos. When they weren't playing with Buck, they would have their own gigs. So I played with them for a while, and I played country music for a while. I mean, I played every kind of music you could imagine in Bakersfield: funk, rock, country. I mean, jazz. I mean, it was a happening time back then. There's definitely some great players that came out of that city. It's pretty amazing.
And what performers were you inspired by besides the Beatles at that time?
Oh, growing up,
Yeah.
I mean, during high school, I was just obsessed with, musicians. Bowie, probably he takes the thing, but
Yeah.
Bowie and his keyboard player Mike Garson, who ended up becoming my friend and my teacher, which is
Oh,
another story. Rick Wakeman, Keith Emerson, these guys were kind of. But then as jazz too, like Oscar Peterson and
that's
Dave
cool.
Brubeck. Like I was into a lot of just people that could shred.
Yeah. So did you mainly gig alone? Did you have a band? What did you, and did you
Band.
have an idea? You had a band?
Bands. So I just kept getting hired, and then eventually, in my 20s, I just started forming my own bands. So
Oh. You were on a show for a while, in the house band. Is that right?
Maria Conchita Alonso.
When did
Yeah,
that happen in your life?
in the 90s.
In the
Like I probably
90s?
the 30s. Yeah. So I was already gone from Bakersfield by then,
Yeah.
and had moved to LA, but I had done this audition. I didn't know what it was for, but it was for a talk show band, and it was on Telemundo,
Yeah.
and it was all in Spanish, and I don't speak Spanish. but it was a talk show. But the guests were like incredible, like especially musicians, Celia Cruz, Tito Puente. But it was even like Selma Hayek, and it was just Ricky Morton, like these crazy guests. And our dressing rooms were across the hall from each other, so I met some really cool people and got to play as well with some nice musicians.
That's awesome. When did you start composing for movies and television? Was
Okay,
it
so
movies? Yeah, tell me about that.
yeah, movies. So I was a musician, and I ended up, playing all over the world till about 29,
Yeah.
and then I quit drinking.
Oh yeah. So
I
you
just,
were, did you become a full-on alcoholic when you were
well,
like gigging
I,
around or what?
I mean, it's an occupational hazard, right? You
Yeah.
don't
Yeah.
see it coming. And I just thought, man, I better get off this boat now because I think trying to get off of it, trying to get it in my 30s or 40s, it's
Yeah.
gonna be too hard. So if I stop now,
Yeah.
I'm kind of good, right?
Yeah.
So, but then I thought, well, man, I don't want to quit music, but then you're kind of around alcohol. So I said, well, I'll just try to score films. I have no nothing. I don't know anything about it. And so then I said, where am I going to meet filmmakers? So I just in LA, I just moved to LA from San Diego and went to LA City College. I had a cinema program that had a lot of the same teachers from UCLA
So you
and
went to
US
film school to become a person who scores? Really? Wow.
to be filming. And believe it or not, that works.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, just going down that path
Oh
just
yeah.
introduced me to like some like then I was off and running scoring films, and I worked with some pretty amazing people like right out of the gate.
Yeah.
So that kind of got that going, and yeah, and I did that for about 20 years.
And what was that experience like scoring? Like, what was the process then to score a film? Did you have to compose music and then have to play it with an orchestra, or what was the
Well,
process?
well, both. See, why a big reason I went to film school besides meeting composers because I understood that there was a technical aspect to it,
Yeah.
right? And that involved things like time code and just
Yeah.
it was a different right. So that was my goal. So trying to fit like I learned how to have a spotting session with a director. Okay, this you watch the movie and you write down the time code points. This is where we want the music in and out. Feel like this, da 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 da. And then you kind of have to. It's like a template for the movie, and then, but it was a learning process. But I kind of figured it out. But it was a very stressful.
Yeah, it's very labor intensive. Also, it seems like a lot of times the music person is brought on towards the end when
Oh
they're
yeah,
like out of budget and they're out of time.
exactly.
Right?
Then they want a lot of changes, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And then they want it perfect. I know,
Then they
just from making films, you put a lot of pressure on the music people,
want,
unfortunately,
right.
because it's
Unfortunately.
just it becomes stressful. Yeah. So when during this time did you play piano? This is an amazing life you had. When did you play piano at the Comedy Store?
Oh, okay. So I was living in San Diego because I went from
Yeah.
Bakersfield to San Diego,
Yeah.
uh,
And what
and
brought you to San Diego? Why'd you go to San Diego?
it was time to leave Bakersfield. So
Yeah.
I felt I had kind of maxed, the
Hmm.
opportunities there.
Yeah.
And a friend had invited me to San Diego, so I went there and just started auditioning like right away for bands, and just got into bands there right away and started working. So that was cool.
Yeah.
But at one point, I saw this audition for the Comedy Store, which I didn't know what it was. It was in La Jolla.
Yeah.
And I met them, and I just, you just play the piano, and you open up the club, and you set up the mics, and then you play the piano and get everybody kind of warmed up, and then you bring up the comics coming to the stage,
Yeah.
and but boy, let me tell you something. That was like the people, as the Comedy Store, they would send everybody from LA
Yeah.
to do sets there. So I met like it was insane.
Who
And then
who was performing at that time?
oh my
Just
god,
like everybody?
like Chris Tucker,
Yeah.
Carlos Mencia, Andrew Dice Clay. I mean, just that whole
Jim Carrey.
Jim Carrey. I worked
Really?
with him, but
Oh my
then
God.
when I moved to LA to go to study
Yeah.
cinema, they just transferred me to the Sunset Boulevard,
Really?
which was just that La Jolla Comedy Store, but on crack.
Yeah. Well, and also that was a really good time to be there. I mean, it was a really happening time that I don't know what years it was, but the performers that you mentioned there,
Yeah.
that was like a prime time to be at the Comedy Store. And also that culture was just so intense, and there was a lot of drug use and a lot of alcoholism and all that stuff going on. Did you feel like you were a part of that? You know, okay, in your show, in your one-man show, you say, and we'll talk about that in a second, you say Paul Mooney like gave you a talking to at some point. Can you tell me about that?
Okay, so Paul Mooney, he's a big person there. I mean, he's a legend. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, he has so much status. He would park his car in the red in front of the
Oh,
Comedy
really?
Store
Really?
and just leave it there, and he'd go in and do a set and then, bounce. But he was late, and I have a set list on who's next, and the comics will go, okay, thank you everybody. So who's next? And they talk to me, and I'll just, oh, it's so and so. But a comic had come up to me during a set and said, Paul Mooney's not here. I'm next, so just go ahead and call me up.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know. I'm just a piano player.
Yeah.
So I did. I said, go, who's next? And I said the guy.
Yeah.
And as as this is happening, Paul Mooney pulls up into the red and runs in, and there's somebody else on.
Oh.
And he made the biggest
really
deal about it. Yes. And so anyway, that got me fired. He made sure I was fired.
Really? You lost your job?
Yeah.
Oh my God. What did you ever go back? Were you done and you had to go?
I mean, it's a hard job. I mean, it's like 4 or 5 hours. And I mean, I had done it for so long. It's like, okay, cool. I mean, I'll just move on to something else. But I wasn't gonna battle out Paul Mooney. I mean, he helped build that place, and So and I'm a big fan of his anyway. So
he was great. He was great. Okay, cool. So now I'm gonna play this thing from your one-man show. It's just like a little intro. I think it maybe was from your advertisement for the show. Because during the pandemic, not only did you do music videos every week, but you wrote a one-man show that you performed at the Hollywood Fringe Festival, and then also in New York, right? In New York?
Yes, United Solo Fest.
All right, let's take a look at this.
The piano has always been a guide in my life, but it's also been my best friend. That one thing that would never leave me, that would get me through those hard times, emotionally and financially. Even when I turned my back on my dear friend 10 years ago to become an actor, I could still turn around and look behind me, and there it was, as always, ready to pick up where we left off. So, how did this little piano bromance start? Well, let's go back to the beginning.
Okay, that's awesome. So you made a complete... oh, no, I lost him. All right, he'll be back. Ladies and gentlemen, stay calm. He's going to be back. Don't worry. There he is. I was a little worried for a second. It's okay. This show goes on. And then we'd bring you back. But anyway, great to have you back. Yay! That was like fast, too. Okay, so... you're going along as a musician, you're composing, you've already reinvented yourself like 3 times. All of a sudden you go, I'm going to be an actor. What happened?
I I wish I had like a happy story for that, but I had a nephew who was
Uh-huh.
one of the was a twin,
Mm-hmm.
and about 25 years old, he took his own life,
Oh,
and we were really close. So I went into grief counseling and kind of like just dropped everything, right?
yeah.
Got a therapist and kind of, and she said that I wasn't opening up, and because
Really?
they just got all these walls up, and you're not, you know how they talk,
Yeah. Yeah.
and so she says, you know what, you're an artist. Why don't you take an acting class, okay? Why don't you kick and scream and do all kinds of crazy stuff in there?
Yeah.
It's not a stretch, you're already
Yeah.
in the art. So I said, all right. So I went to acting school.
Yeah.
I,
You went to acting school. Yeah.
I went to instead of going to acting class, I went to acting school.
You went to school.
Shakespeare, improv,
Yeah.
voice, the whole thing, right?
Wow.
And then but that community of actors,
Mm-hmm.
it's pretty like I stumbled onto something,
Yeah. Yeah.
and actors are just I don't know, it's a beautiful community.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah,
It really
yeah.
is.
It's different from the musician community.
Mm-hmm. How so?
But, well, I mean, I guess just in general,
Yeah.
I mean, we just put walls up, especially as men, right? You don't let people in.
Yeah.
But as acting, that's kind of the enemy.
That's the enemy of acting, right?
You want those, you need to have a clear path.
Yeah.
To this, so I don't know. It was just different,
Yeah.
With musicians, you communicate musically,
Yeah.
but with actors, I mean, you go places. I was in an acting class last night, and it was an experience, It was.
Yeah.
So I fell in love with actors and acting, and I thought at that age, I go, I've done music. It's been great. I love it. I'll always be a part of my life.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to go out with actors. I'm going out with you guys.
Did you find that it helped you therapeutically in your life, like the therapist wanted?
Yeah, it saved me.
Saved you.
It's just I was going through something, and I fell into the arms of a bunch of actors, and that's they caught me.
Yeah. Was there anything in you that was like, I can't do this? I'm 50 years old or whatever. I can't just change my career. Was there anything that was stopping you, like in your mind?
Well, yeah, but I don't care.
Good job. I like that. And you've been doing some great acting out there. I'm going to play some of your reel here. I'm not the best with knowing when to go to the next scene, but let's just watch some of your acting. This is your dramatic reel, which is cool.
How much longer you guys think you'll be? It's just kind of loud,
Whole place will be dug up in 2 days.
2 days. Oh, shit. They must have you guys working like all night, right?
Not all night, but pretty close. Look, I got a million things to do, so...
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna need to see a warrant before I can open it up for you.
Read it and weep.
That's all right. I got the master key right here.
I have to take my wife to the doctor today, and I need to finish my work by 1 o'clock. I hope that's okay.
And how's your wife doing?
Much better, Mr. Thompson. We are very lucky. She has a good doctor.
No, I'm glad to hear it. I'm gonna be going away for a while, and this should cover you till the first of the year.
You want to clean out for the whole year? Gracias. You're gonna be muy hermoso when you come back.
Muy hermoso.
Okay. I don't know for sure, but I know this. When I was working on a goat farm, there was something that we called El Chupacabra.
What?
Man, it killed our goats. I mean, it sucked their blood. Find anything interesting up there?
Comparing stuff, I heard you going through it.
I was not. What?
You know, we can talk about, you know, them and whatever.
No.
If you...
All right.
No.
No? Go. Take this.
Hey,
This is so-
Poppy,
Craig!
take the cash. You don't need that.
Finished.
We're all good.
Craig!
Get in the hole.
Craig, I promised him!
This is how a job like this ends, Evie. What did you think was gonna happen? Get in the fucking hole!
Craig, stop! I don't want this!
It's a little late for that, Evie.
Oh man. That Craig is an asshole. I cannot believe he was doing that to you. Whenever I see that guy, I am going to smack him. God. You know, that was, your acting is quite good. Those are some nice roles with some, you know, like, James Brolin was in that one scene with you, and I feel like you're really present. I feel like when you looked at that check, I felt like you saw it, which a lot of actors, they wouldn't have seen it, had a feeling about it, and then responded. You know, your moment to moment work is really good. And also, I just believe you in these scenes. You know, I just believe you. What is your acting technique? You know, how do you get into a role?
Well, my default setting is Meisner.
Yeah.
It's kind of where I started, you know. So I guess you wait until that somebody's in front of you or that thing is in front of you, and then then it's genuine. You know, I don't plan here, and just have a reason for everything. You know.
Yeah. Have a reason. And do you mean like motivation, or what do you mean?
Yeah, for everything that I say, there's a reason.
Yeah.
Why I'm saying it. You know.
Yeah.
And
don't say it if you don't. Don't say it if there's not a reason, kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah.
So I actually in my acting class last night, the teacher said something he goes, if it's not motivated, then it's dead air.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
That's cool. Yeah, I really enjoy it. And you also do comedy as well. I have your reel here for comedy. Maybe we'll play that as well. But you're doing some great work. It's really awesome, and it's cool to see. Do you think being a musician has helped you be an actor?
Yes, because I just know that with music that I really had to like work at it. I had to practice every day. It wasn't like, oh, I'm a piano player. Like I had to put in a lot of hours of scales. And so when I went to acting, I looked at it like that. Okay, well, I'm sure I'm not going to just be a good actor. Like I'm going to have to work at it. And so I use the approach to music. Like I'm going to have to work at it every day and practice.
Yeah. I think that's one of the lessons that I'm learning from you, or reinforcing, is that you got to do the work. So the thing is, sometimes people are like, you can't be an actor. You know, you're a musician. I put you in this box and you can't be an actor. Well, you did the work to be an actor. You didn't just go, I'm just going to be an actor. You're like, okay, how does acting work? You went to freaking school. You seem to like go full on. Like, I'm going to be a film composer, so I'm going to learn how to make a movie. I'm going to go to film school. I'm going to learn all about movie making, which seems like a great route, because then you're not just like in your little box. You actually have knowledge about every different area, which
is crazy, because I did that first, and then after I started scoring films and started making money at it, then I went to study film scoring at UCLA.
I
took the money from that, and it was kind of ass backwards.
I think it's great. I think it's great. Okay, I'm gonna play your comedy reel just because I want people to see the other side of what's going on with this too. Here we go.
Man, look at his arm.
I would kill to have an arm like that.
Got his workout routine on the internet.
No way. Where'd you get that?
Dude,
You
no,
bored me.
That's nothing.
What is that?
Nothing. Swing them balls over here, Bull. Hit them all the time.
Has he been
I
tweeting?
don't know. It's kind of hard to tell.
You think he checks his tweets today?
Do.
And I don't want the kids learning that type of Spanish. That's why I teach el español castellano.
I'm actually from Costa Rica.
You know, if I need help ziplining through a cloud forest, you'll be my first call. You cannot pick up Spanish in Central America. It's like learning English from Larry the Cable Guy. What are you doing?
I think we'll be pulling our son out.
I had a hunch. Why don't you just give me your Juan Hancock right there?
Do you put a rush on that? My wife's in the hospital in labor with my son.
Ah, felicidades, amigo.
Oh, thank you.
Buena suerte.
Is that the worm? No. No, I haven't had a worm since I was in college, and I blacked out.
It is Mexican tradition, senor.
Is it?
The worm will bring you good luck. And your son?
Yeah.
Huevos grande.
Big balls? I like big balls.
All right, guys. I want a clean fight. Watch your rabbit punches and low blows. You guys ready?
So, after the fight, Fernando, he gave me a few pointers.
Many couples have had their first kiss on this bench. The word passion. Maybe even conceived their first child on this bench. The word bench. Maybe even gave birth to that child on this bench. What is bench culture? It's about sitting your ass down and just waiting. Or watching the view. This bench? You think you know this bench? You don't know this bench. Bench! I love this bench. It's simply unbelievable just how fresh these beats were, even by today's standards. Neanderthal and Cro-Magnon men out here in the dust, breakdancing and beatboxing for weeks to the point where they were literally dying from exhaustion.
All right. I think you're going to have to go to school and learn more Spanish too. I mean, man, that's great. I love it. So what's next for you? Are you going to make your own film and score it and direct it and star in it and play the piano player in the bar as well?
Actually, kinda.
Yeah.
But I have a short that I already shot with a friend.
Yeah.
I was going down that one-man show road, and somebody had heard about me, Alan Wasserman, who's on the Road Theater in North Hollywood, and he just hit me up and he said, "Listen, I would like you to write something for a short film we want to do, and it's about the Night Stalker, because I guess there was a Netflix documentary that came out.
Yeah.
But here's the thing: we want you to play the cop Gil that catches him, and we want you to play the Night Stalker."
Oh my God!
So I wrote it. I came up with an idea. I wrote it. We shot it. It was the Richard Ramirez parts were really dark and horrible.
Yeah. Oh my God! I can't believe it.
It was tough. It was tough to shoot his part, but because we do the crime scenes, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm in the room but I'm editing it. No, it's edited, and now I'm scoring it and do the sound design. So I'm doing that, and then I'm going to shoot another film in the winter called Bronx, California. And what that is when I went to do my one-man show in New York City, I have a lot of friends there, and an actor friend, a really close. And I said, "Man, I'm going to write a film, and I'm going to come back, and I'm going to shoot it like this year with you guys." So my friend Brett Beller, he produced the show, in New York, and he's going to produce this film, and we're going to go back, and I'm kind of writing it right now. I already know what it's about. I just got to finish writing it, and then we're going to shoot it in January in New York, in Bronx, and in California.
I love it so much. Wow, this is great. Okay. And everything that it's amazing too, as you go along and as you transform yourself, you bring everything that you have learned up until that point, you bring it into whatever the next thing you're doing is. And that's just really inspiring. All right, it's time to end the show. Unfortunately, I've got a dance break. It's 2 songs from you. One is the Me and My Arrow that we were talking about earlier. Can you tell me who the guy is in that video with the dog?
His name is Danny Gonzales. He is the brother of JC Gonzales. I had a music project with JC Gonzales, and it's the brother. But the brother and I became very close. But before I actually met him, I noticed all these pictures he had of his dog.
Yeah.
And I was so moved by it. I said, man, I called him. I said, can I please make a video of this song, Me and My Arrow? It's about a boy and his dog, and I grew up with this song, and I just think they just go together. Just trust me on this. And
so cool.
He loved his dog more than anything. And this past year, Dookie passed away, and it was horrible. It was really a traumatic experience. And but he had this video, right?
Yeah, it's a nice video, nice tribute to the dog, and also we can dedicate this show to that dog. What's the dog's name again? Dookie. So we'll dedicate this show to Dookie. There's also another song that I'm going to play, which is a Rise. Who's this guy that you are singing with in this song?
His name is Justin Westfall, and
yeah,
we've been close friends for years, and he's blown up on TikTok, and he has almost 1 million followers now. Yeah, so I'm really proud of him, and it was great doing this. We always did it. We always do tons of projects together, and this is one of them.
Oh, that's so cool. All right, so we're all going to dance it out. I'm going to bring our producer, Blas Lorenzo, on as well to dance out through the dance break. So dance them if you got them. Thanks so much for being on the show. It was super kind of you to come here and share your life with us. And I'm really inspired. I'm going to go out and make my own movie starting today. I just got to figure out how to jam everything that I've learned into that movie, the way Michael J. Gonzales would do it. And also, you can go to the your YouTube channel and see all these great cover songs that you did for a year. Really great stuff. And I love the fact that you don't choose the obvious songs. You choose some that are, more obscure. I think you even do a Britney Spears song. You do, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you do ones that people wouldn't expect. It's great. Yeah. I love it. All right. Thanks so much for being on the show. Let's dance it out. Dance break time.
We're gonna ride till we fall. They say we got no future at all. They wanna keep us out, can't hold us down anymore. Gonna ride till we fall.
When we hit the bottom, nothing's gonna stop us. Climb to the top with you. We could be the greatest ones who ever made it. Yeah, I could be talking you. They're trying to hate, but we won't change anything at all. Oh, we're gonna rise till we fall. They think we just dropouts, living at a mom's house. Parents must be so proud, they know it all. They don't speak our language, they say we're too savage. Yeah, no, we don't give up anymore. We're gonna rise till we fall. We're gonna rise till we fall.
All right, yeah. And then here's Me and My Arrow.
Me and my arrow, straighter than arrow.
Dookie!
Wherever we go, everyone knows it's me and my arrow. Me and my arrow. It's me and my
Let's party, yeah.
And in the morning when I wake up, she'll be gone, and I don't know. And when we make up just to break up, I'll carry on. Oh yes, I will. Me and my arrow, do 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 do, taking the high road. Wherever we go, everyone knows it's me and my arrow. Me and my arrow, do 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 do, straighter than arrow. Wherever we go, everyone knows it's me and my arrow.
Love it. All right, this has been Lunch Therapy.